and that Allah permits you to make it into the next life. So we are grateful, and we have to be all forgiving to each other. If Allah is all forgiving to us, then how can we be staunch and stiff and haughty where we can't forgive each other? When we expect forgiveness from Allah over and over again, and Allah reminds us that we are not perfect human beings. He didn't make us perfect. He made us to strive for perfection. And He gave us the example of the Prophet, but He didn't make us perfect. Even in the Prophet, He showed the flaws. When the Prophet wanted to go after a big business, a big government, and the blind man was tugging at him, and he frowned. Allah brought that out, that was a mistake on behalf of our Prophet, but He used it as an example for the rest of us. And as the narration goes, the Prophet kept that blind man at his side from that time on. I wanted to speak about the Muslim Journal in terms of a business entity. We are trying to, it is a business entity, it is a for-profit corporation. We are struggling in hard financial times, and in the downturn of the economy, newspapers have been hit harder than any other industry. You hear about the banks, you hear about the auto business, but newspapers have been hit not just because of the economy, but because of changing times. Can you imagine when the first Model T Ford hit the street and people still had horse and buggies? And people started buying more cars, and you saw less horse and buggies, and who had the last horse and buggy? The Amish, probably. So we're in that transition stage now. The internet is the new Model T. The physical newspapers in the old way of getting the news disseminated is the horse and buggy. Now we have this nostalgia for the physical newspaper, and we don't want to see it leave. And then we also have a level of our society that still needs the physical newspaper. There's a level that won't do anything but go to the internet. They won't buy a paper unless they can get it on the internet. That's why the iPad has become so popular. You know, there's a joke now that you walk by a homeless guy in the park, and instead of a newspaper laying on his face, he has an iPad on his face. And there's another saying on the internet that's been going around. It says, the new definition of insanity is to keep doing the same thing over and over and over again, but each time expecting a different result. So we have to do things different in order to get different results. We've tried to do the same thing over and over again for the last 15 years, and we keep expecting a different result. Well, the 15th year into it, I think we need to try a new approach. There's no need of us just going to the grave doing the same thing over and over again. And you're turning the wheels, you're exerting energy, you're really working real hard, but it's time to try new approaches. So what we are doing with the Muslim Journal is trying to reach out to a broader and bigger audience with a business entity aspect. And we're developing the Muslim Journal weekend of events to reach out to as big an audience as we can with as big a program as we can, and also in the process to spin off other businesses. This weekend in Louisville, Kentucky, that's coming up in December, we have attached to it a fashion show, which is a sister out of Atlanta who does fashion shows for years and years and years, and she's never made money off of them. So we paired the fashion show with the Muslim Journal dinner this year in hopes of spinning her off into another business entity that can stand on its own. So we will have in Louisville, Kentucky, December 17th through the 19th, a weekend of events starting with the fashion show on Friday. Of course, we'll open with Juma on Friday, starting with the fashion show that night. And since it's a sisters-only fashion show, the husbands that are there and the brothers that have come into town, there's a jazz show with Galib Galab that they can attend that same night. On Saturday night, the feature of the weekend is the Muslim Journal Awards Dinner. And the feature of the program are the awardees. And this year we want to honor Muhammad Ali as one of our own. Everybody else honors Muhammad Ali. He walks into the room, the whole room shifts to wherever he is. I told someone I'd never get on a boat with Ali because boat's going to tilt over. Because if he's on one side, everybody in the boat's going to go to that side. We went to one program with Muhammad Ali, and even the police officers who's supposed to be on post were lining up to take pictures. We said, who's watching the store? All the officers, including their commanders. So they weren't in trouble because he was up there too. They were all smiling and taking pictures. Ali didn't have to say anything. They just want that memorabilia that I shook the hand of Muhammad Ali. We don't know what physical shape Ali would be in, but in Louisville is also the Muhammad Ali Center and Museum. And if you haven't been there, then please make this your opportunity to support that museum and center that houses the memorabilia of Muhammad Ali as well as his history. Is very high-tech, it's very interactive. They have a film that plays like every 2 or 3 hours. And then it chronicles the African-American struggle with the Nation of Islam struggle with the Muslim struggle. And you see all of it intertwined there. And I just realized that Cassius Clay, the name, actually came from one of the slave masters that was passed on to that family. And Cassius Clay, the Muhammad Ali Cassius Clay, was actually the name that was passed on from one of the slave masters in that area. But if you haven't been to the Ali Center, please, our community, we at least have to say we've been at least once. And they deserve our support because they've taken on the responsibility of housing his memory. We have reserved, in the name of Brother Wallace and the Mosque, we have a booth reserved for you at that event. And we have a table reserved for you at that event. And it is our objective as we build up as a business that we support the #1 charity, the Mosque Cares. So that is our commitment. Sister Zubaydah has some information on the bus, so we'd like for her to present that. We'll have the tickets, physical tickets next week, but we're still taking orders, and it is a first come, first serve. And we're trying real hard to sell out, so we don't intend to have any tickets at the door, God willing. So if you've gotten plane tickets, if you reserve rooms, and you've done all that upfront preparation, please buy your tickets now also, because the only thing that will reserve a ticket is the payment. Sister Zubaydah.
Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Alhamdulillah Rabbil Alameen. Ashhadu la ilaha illallah. Ashhadu Muhammadan Rasulullah. Assalamu alaikum. With Allah's name, the merciful benefactor, the merciful redeemer. This information is regarding the bus trip. And before I make this announcement, I wanted to say that we're going to leave on time. You can't be on the west side and think that you can get on the south side in 5 minutes. You know you can't do it. So the bus trip to Louisville, Kentucky, the seats are going fast. I think we have about 10 left. And if you're going, then you're going to take this bus ride to the Muslim Journal Weekend of Events and A Time to Be Grateful 7th Annual Award Dinner, 17 through the 19th, 2010. The bus will depart December the 17th at 5 a.m. sharp. So we're asking you to be on time so we can make that, pedal to the metal. We won't have to do the pedal to the metal. We can go smooth down the road. And we're asking everyone to be on time because we can't say we're going to wait for so-and-so. We know